This video we're going to talk about what you can eat after your extractions and after the sutures have been removed, so you're not worried about catching food in them. Of course, again, if you have immediate dentures, you may be progressing through this quicker. This is for people who do not have immediate dentures, like I didn't have them. So even though 2 months seems like a long time, it really isn't that bad. And even though I say 2 months, you have to come to grips with the fact that it might be more like 4 to 6 months, because it depends on how long you take to heal and how long it takes your dentist to get your dentures made. So let's just step into this and not worry about how long it's going to be actually. You're still going to need to eat soft foods, but now you can add more texture. So before, when you were eating mainly broths and creamy soups, now you can, start adding chunky soups. Just make sure that the vegetables are well cooked so that you can mash them without hurting yourself. And that also goes for any meats you have in it. The meats that are going to be easiest to start eating are the meats that were already ground, like hamburger or sausage, or moist small pieces like pulled chicken or shredded chicken and pulled pork. You can try cooking them in this crock pot in a little fluid. Cook them long and slow so that when you take them out, the meat will all fall apart. And that's the easiest way to get your meat. Your eggs, you have more variety of eggs you can eat now. And in fact, you can eat pretty much all the breakfast foods. The only things I would stay away from are dense or hard breads like bagels or English muffins. And I would skip the bacon for now, okay? If you like it crispy, it's not going to be pleasant to try to eat that with your gums. It'll hurt. If you like your bacon limp, then you're gonna have to pull off the pieces really small, because your gums will not be able to make it any smaller than the piece you put in your mouth. So it's kind of all a pain. I would skip the bacon and head for sausage instead. The other meats that are going to be easier to eat are, hamburgers, including the bun. You can start eating the bun. If it's still a little too hard for you, then either dip it in a liquid or take off part of the bread. And hot dogs, again, you may not want to eat the bread, but the hot dog should be easy enough. And sorry, I'm looking at my list because this is the third time I've filmed this video. The first time it was way too long and boring, and then the second time I forgot to add the microphone, so there wasn't anything you could hear on it. So this is the third time. With your pasta, you can start making it lumpier too. Start making some casseroles, tuna casserole, or whatever kind of casserole you like to add things to. If this is a good time to try making something you've never made before, if it falls into this kind of soft and softer textured food. This was when I tried making risotto. I had always wanted to make it, but I'd never taken the time to do it. And this was an awesome food to eat right then. It was no problem eating it. It's a nice creamy rice dish. As far as takeouts go, the McDonald's hamburger you can try, but I didn't really have a lot of success with it because, I thought I would. The hamburgers are thin, the buns are thin, but the buns were still too difficult at this point. I thought it was because they were too hard, but looking back, I think it was because they were too dry. In order to break food down, you either need to be able to chew it, or you need some liquid to help break it down. And I guess I just didn't have enough saliva at that point to break it down. So what did work out really well though was Arby's. So head over to Arby's, and for your fast food fix, get a French dip sandwich. It comes with that little container of jiaju for dipping the bread in. And then it was very easy to eat and satisfied that meat craving. You can also handle burritos at this point, but the ends of the burritos where it's folded over a couple of times, that's going to be too hard. Just take your fingers and rip those off. Don't even try eating those. But the rest of the burrito you should be able to handle just fine. You can also start trying thin crust pizza. I would start with cheese, and you're probably going to have to use a fork and knife, but you should be able to eat it at this point. KFC has a couple options also. They're famous bowls with mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, and chicken. You're just going to have to bury the chicken in the mashed potatoes and gravy for a little while to soften it up a little bit, or maybe cut them up even smaller, but you should be able to eat that. The easier one there are the chicken pot pies. Just dump them into a bowl, break up the crust, put all the more liquid part of the pot pie on the crust so it gets a little bit softer, but you should be able to handle eating that one. And of course their coleslaw is very easy to eat. So you may want to try that if you like the coleslaw. As far as snacks go, with chips, you'd still be best going with either baked potato chips or Pringles. The regular potato chips have really sharp edges, and there's no way you can comfortably bite down on anything with Ruffles or kettle chips. So stay away from those. My favorite snack though was the cheese puffs. They're airy enough that you can bite down on them with just your gums. They compress, and because there's so much air in them, your saliva will be enough to help break them down and finish eating them. So they were plus some of them come in that little U shape. You can stick those right in the front of your mouth to start working on toughening up the front of your gums. The only other snacks really I can think of would be things you can dip in the milk, like cookies or graham crackers. You're not going to probably be able to eat very many types of cookies, and definitely not graham crackers, without softening them up a little bit. But dip them in a little milk and you should be fine. So this period actually brings in a lot more of the foods you like. There's a lot of foods you can eat with ground meat. You can go to shepherd's pie. You can go to lasagna. You can, there's a whole wide range of soups. So you'll get through this time just fine. Just make sure you keep taking enough protein in. If you don't get enough with meat, don't forget eggs and your protein shakes and your collagen peptide powders. Whatever it is you need, just make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet to heal properly. My next food video, I will talk about what to eat long-term without teeth. So that one won't be very long either. So enjoy, and I hope you get through this 2-month or 4-month period easily, and we'll see you at the next video. Thank you.